Rahul Chaudhri of Helion Ventures has a bouquet of investments in the e-commerce, digital media and education sectors. He joins us now for a freewheeling chat. Thanks for talking to us, Rahul. You had mentioned earlier, sometime in 2012-13, that the e-commerce share of retail is just 1%. Have you seen that scenario change over the years?
Yes, I think, and I don't exactly remember when I had made that comment, but I would suggest that maybe the industry has grown by 70% per annum, so most likely that number has gone up.
What do you see are the big stumbling blocks to e-commerce?
I would say on the demand side, there are a few stumbling blocks, or I don't know if you call them stumbling blocks, but one, we are now internet population wise, maybe 300 million people on internet, 50 odd, 60, 70 million shopping. The next set of internet users and next set of shoppers will most likely come from a very different background. Some of them may not understand English. So I think that is one big challenge that a lot of these e-commerce sites will have to figure out. Most of them will come on mobile, which is the second challenge to figure out, how does your site work on mobile, how does your app get customized. And then they may also come from younger population as well as people from tier 3, 4 cities. I think also we will start seeing shift of dynamics on supply side, where these platforms are becoming very large. So the kind of, the responsibilities that they will have from regulatory point of view, the kind of marketing they can provide to brands, the kind of, pricing power they will have, all that will undergo a shift and see a shift going forward. And I think, the other two big challenges that remain in this space is continuous funding and low margins as you are growing market share. So these are all multiple kind of challenges that businesses will have to deal with.
You've invested in ID and YLG, which is different from your normal bouquet of investments. Do you see these becoming greater spend areas with the growing affluency, especially in urban areas?
Indian consumers are going to become more and more discerning. They will have higher income levels, so they will have more choices. Now ID, for example, is a classic case of people either making those ingredients at home, for example, a batter or a paratha or a chutney, or going to an unorganized market and buying from a store. All they are doing is exactly same recipe in a fresh format being supplied to a consumer. So I do see, and that we see with the growth rate that these companies are exhibiting, like ID, I think is growing at about 60% an annum, which is very good for a consumer brand. And similarly with YLG, again, thesis is you already spend in a mom and pop store, can I provide a better experience at similar price points? So yeah, so all these businesses are growing at a decent pace.
And would you say that these two particular investments of yours have been outside your comfort zone, and are you happy with these?
So these are not, I would not see, when we were investing, we had this theme that we will invest behind all consumer-based companies. What we've realized in last year or two is that tech alone, or consumer tech and enterprise tech alone, has so much depth that as a team we have very limited time to say we can do everything in a right manner. So it's just a question of focus. And while we made these investments, at that time we had focus on these areas. Right now we are not looking to invest more. We are saying enough to do in tech, and that's where we are spending our energies.
And which recent investment of yours are you most excited about, and why?
Actually, there are so many, as in very, very hard to put numbers. And in fact, there are few who came from our previous funds, companies like Quicksilver. They've started to gain very interesting momentum. Then companies like Yepme, My Smart Price, again from our second fund, doing very interesting work. Recently, we have made investments in LiveSpace, which is growing like a rocket ship. Big Basket, they are just unable to cater to all the demand that they're getting. ShopClues, we have made an investment in a local services business called Dormant. Woopler, which is a fashion commerce. So, as I said, if you're doing a good job and you're a differentiated value prop, demand from consumer side is there, and that's what excites us.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Rahul.
You meet a lot of young entrepreneurs, and how would you describe a typical quintessential young Indian entrepreneur?
I think they're very ambitious now. They have, in some sense, broken down any barriers there were to the risk of entrepreneurship. The stigma of failure is gone. So in that sense, they're quite fearless. I think, but at the same time, they're very young still. For the most part, it's still a maturing ecosystem. So I think we will see many emerge from the current ecosystem that will do very well, but not in the hundreds, let's say.
When it comes to the maker culture in India, there are few maker spaces. Mumbai has Makers Asylum and Bangalore recently got its very own maker space below the Alsur metro station.